using the F word and taking other calculated risks when it comes to your online presence. Now, I'm not talking about the F word you think I'm talking about, though that's a calculated risk in and of itself. In my case, the F word is feminist. Now, those of you who have been watching me throughout 2014 will know that I have been taking part in Veronica Ariola's 365 Feminist Selfie Project. So that means every day of 2014, I've posted a picture of yours truly. And it has been an amazing journey personally, because a lot has happened to me in 2014. But it also invariably is a huge part of my professional journey, because the way that I present myself online is pretty much 100% of my professional persona. And it is a big choice to use a word that in many ways is very polarizing. Was I really thinking about that on December 31st when I decided to take part in this project? Not necessarily. I just knew that I resonated with the term. I felt good about it. It was something I needed to do at the time. But I've continued it, and I have to think about how it is affecting the way that I am perceived by people I'm just meeting on the web. Because there's a lot of days on end when the only thing you might see of me is photos that have 365 feminist selfies scrawled across them. What does that make people think? Well, I had to be okay with the fact that I was going to be alienating a lot of people. And you know what? Part of my authentic expression of who I am and what I do means it's okay that I'm alienating some people, because if you really hate that word, then I don't know how we're going to really do business together effectively. Because by no means am I, that stereotypical bra-burning, man-hating feminist. I think that that's a huge lie that our culture has propagated, but it also just isn't me. I'm a married woman who has 2 kids and does a lot of things that are pretty mainstream and dull. But ultimately, the word is meaningful for me because I have a huge and deeply ingrained belief in the equality between the genders and between our ability to express ourselves without the stereotypes that are masculine is this, feminine is that, male is this, woman is that, female, I should say. So I use that term as much as an homage to the women who've come before me, the foremothers who have paved the way to allow me to do all the amazing things I'm doing, to allow my daughters to do things I've never even dreamed of, because there will be no more barriers between what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman. So I could go on and on about this and my own political, personal take on it all. But what about your political and personal? What about those certain parts of yourself that are so key to who you are? Be they religious, be they political, be they about your sexuality. How do those play in to your online persona? Because these days, what you put out there is going to affect you professionally as well as personally. And that's whether or not you are a small business owner, whether or not you work for somebody else, because your current employer or anybody who's looking to hire you is going to be interested in what you say about yourself online, because it matters. Uh-oh. I'm back. And the fact that I've had this baby on camera since she was about 5 days old is in and of itself going to affect her eventual online persona. But that's a discussion for a different time. Let's talk about the calculated risks that you decide to take. And you've got to be aware of what you're putting out there. And you've got to use them to ultimately be empowering, personally and professionally. It has to be part of your brand. If you're going to be putting out the F word, either the 4-letter version or the feminist version, if you're going to be talking about your faith, if you're going to be talking about your sexuality and who you love and who you've married. And you may choose to completely leave those things out, and you choose to be authentic in different ways. But it has to be something that you choose very knowingly, and you've got to somehow decide to stand out. If it's not those hot button issues you decide to share, then it at least has to be things that really distinguish you and keep you from being too vanilla. Because if you don't have elements of yourself True, authentic. This is me, warts and all. This is me in my glory, and sometimes this is me in my not so glorious moments. How do people relate to you? How do they connect to you? In other videos, I've talked about bravery. And ultimately, owning words that may not resonate with everybody is an act of intense and true bravery. So I challenge you to be brave. I challenge you to be yourself in whatever way feels comfortable to you. And I'm really excited to get to know who you are, both as a person and as a professional. So please come over and find us at onlineempowermentformula.com. And I wish you an empowered and authentic day.